languages. However, their various platforms are provided in English mostly. The Afrikaans community has now been showered with a social media in Afrikaans, and it's called Toeter. It's a bit like Twitter and Facebook. Well, to unpack the authenticity and the unique elements to South Africa, I'm now joined by the founder of this service, Frans Roelofse. He's sitting next to me here. Frans, obviously, the social media platform globally is just such a massive market. What was your thought process to try and tailor-make this to an Afrikaans market?
Yeah, about 4 years ago, I was wondering why don't we have a social media platform in South Africa? Not for anybody, but also not for Afrikaans people. And we were thinking that if we could take a group and we could build a platform for them and see how they respond, where 80% of the info is relevant to 80% of the users, as opposed to the big networks where you often drown in the massive pool. So we started researching it and then started building it, and we got a massive response to it. But of course, it's borderless. It's not something that says, well, you can only be Afrikaans and I am on the right or the left or wherever. It is just celebrating Afrikaans, celebrating a 21st century way of communicating and say, well, let's join the 21st century on the highway of social media.
Explain to us the complexities of setting something like this up. It's not just a case of getting a website up and running. There's also an app you mentioned that you're setting up. I mean, it's quite a complicated process.
Well, it is a rather complicated process. The first thing is you've got to know what you're doing. So you have to understand the bigger picture. I'll tell you something about that now. But the first thing is it was web-based, and it's web-based so that you can go on any device. And now it's also app-based. So there is an Android app. You can just go to the Google Play Store. Or by next week, you could go to the Apple Store and download it for free. And then you can surf, you're on the highway. But here's the big picture. In the last 4 years that we've been working on it, it became apparent that the internet is moving from the sort of fixed internet of your computer and your tablet to mobile. And only 10% of the people in the world have computers, but 74% have cell phones. So it is massive. The internet, if you ever thought it was big, is getting much bigger. And in Africa, there are about 120 million smartphones now, but in the next 5 years, there will be 500 million more smartphones. And they say in 5 years' time, 75% of all online transactions will be from mobile. So what we had to do is to take into account that, and the simple fact that a user spends 147 minutes on average a day on his phone, and you can check yourself 96 times a day you're going to check your phone. So if that is the truth, it means that that's the place where you've got to be. So we've built it. It's a new generation social media, mobile media network, where you can do social. You can send messages, pictures, videos and so on, but you can also soon make private direct messaging, like WhatsApp. And then very soon, in 2 or 3 months, we will have South Africa's first mobile TV and video all rolled into one. And on top of that, you can travel that Toeter highway and do your business as much as you want to.
Just explain to us the usability of it and the setup. I mean, is it similar to the sort of Twitter, Facebook, Twitter sort of interface? Explain the usability.
It uses a lot of what is people are used to on social media. But there are unique things, and we have looked at how can we advance it really. So you join, and then you have your homepage, and on your homepage you have what we call magnets, because magnets are things that attract you. So we have built-in curated information. For instance, there is a magnet for breaking news. In Afrikaans, it's bliksem. So we will pump in news all the time, and you can watch it, but also respond to it. And that gives it some content. It gives it some specific information for a specific market. So if I live in Cape Town, maybe one of my magnets would be the Stormers. But if I am in Pretoria, maybe I'll have the Bulls as my magnet for sport. And so you can do many different things. And you can send messages, 160 characters, which is a little bit more than Twitter. And also you can send pictures and videos and various other things. And as I said, soon you will be able to do private messaging, and you'll watch TV and video, because that's what people do.
You mentioned it's not necessarily focused at Afrikaans. I mean, there are English people. Are the conversations in English as well, or is it only in Afrikaans?
No, you can converse in whatever language you want to. The road signs for now are in Afrikaans, because we want to test it. We also want to bring something original, like the name Toeter. You know, Toeter is an original name for the old hooter. So part of the roots of Toeter is that it is original, it's genuine, and the simplicity. For users, it must be very easy to scroll through it, whether you're 16 or 65. And soon we will have it in English when it will be available to anybody in South Africa. We'll make a specific effort to bring it to South Africans because it's proudly South African. It's built from zero to hero in South Africa. It's the very first one. And in fact, it's a new generation mobile media platform, which is actually the first of its kind in Africa. And we've got our pulse, our hand firmly on the pulse or the screen of mobile and social media. And we are already talking to a number of other African countries where we would like to roll it out, also with local content. So you act like a local, but you're actually like a citizen of the world, because it's an ecosystem on which you can travel from the one to the other to the other.
Frans, what's the uptake been like? I mean, obviously it's all about marketing and getting it out there.
No, the uptake has been very, very good. We have already tens of thousands of Afrikaans people who join, which we think is very good. And we have never even had an app until last week, and 86% of people using their smartphones, accessing the internet, will do it only by using an app and not www. anything. So we are really now kind of turned onto the highway and we're ready to go.
Look, I mean, this is a business for you, that's for sure. I mean, it's all based on advertising. Have you had, an uptake from people who are interested?
Yes, we have. And, you know, if you look at the graph 4 years ago, almost all the ad spend was on print media worldwide, very little on mobile. Now it's rapidly moved to mobile. So brands and advertisers understand that if it is so that almost every single person on this planet is going to have a smartphone in 5 years from now, you better get on to mobile in a hurry. And we've got very good partnerships, and we also have some very strong advertising.
And also the back-end systems have got to be tip-top shape, you know what I mean? With the increase in demand, I guess the systems take a lot of strain as well. Do you have
it's probably one of the biggest challenges. There's a very famous social media or online media company called BuzzFeed. And they're very big and they're very successful in pumping out news and all kinds of other information. And the publisher there says that a media company is actually a technology company nowadays, and it's very true. Absolutely. So we had to work very hard to build a South African team of people skilled and being able to build a stable platform that can do all the things that people can do today. But I'm very happy to say that, you know, it is as smart as anything else you can find around the world.
Fascinating. Well, get on. Yeah, I'm chatting to Frans Roelofse. He's the founder of Toeter, Toeter. It's taking on Twitter, and on a smaller scale. You've got to start small to get big. And it's an Afrikaans-based Twitter-like concept. So get on there. It's Toeter. You can sign up. The sign-up is fairly simple. It's just an email address and a password.
That's it.
That's it. That's the next thing. I know my colleague Abigail Fasahi, sitting on the news desk, is massively big into her Twitter. Abigail, are you going to be signing up to Toeter?
Well, Peter, I'm not fluent in Afrikaans at this moment, but yeah, I'll sign up after we get off air and see what it's all about.
Fantastic.